Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up. Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that bills Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablos asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. The German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible. He converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond company. So we'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well. Happy Monday. Not a whole lot going on this past weekend, or was there? Holy smokes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where, holy moly, it's been busy around here. Well, not around, like, here, because I'm staying away from all that crap. But it's quite the eventful weekend. Lots of people talking about it. And so we're going to talk about it because that's all there is to talk about anymore. Boy, oh boy, this coordinated effort to, I guess, obstruct is hitting a new head with this whole signal chat business. If you haven't heard of that, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Mr. Pretty, the gentleman who sacrificed himself for the cause, and what I would say is probably, it's tough to say if that, look, from what I saw, if I just go by what I saw, probably not justified. But then I was listening to Andrew Branca talking about the laws of self-defense, and especially when there's an assault involved and all kinds of things. There's a lot of people, it's funny. Everyone wants to talk about what they want to talk about regarding this, and they don't want to talk about the elephants, and there are many in the room. So we'll try to get into that. We'll get into whatever I can. I got a water heater being installed today, so I might have to cut the show short, but we'll see what happens. If you want to, this thing over here says, what does it say? I don't even know what it says. It says the heat bill fund for January. Now it's a water heater fund. So please contribute generously to the water heater fund. I may change that tomorrow. Anyway, hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Happy Monday. I'm actually here on time. Holy moly, what the hell's going on today? So let's get it started. First, we'll say hi to everybody first in the chat. Mr. Mike Savage. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Gets the bell. Blarg. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier. Ms. Wild Wolf. Avocados Diabli is, of course, is here. What's there? There we go. And good morning, Blue-Eyed Scream. Oh my gosh, TC here is pretty early today. Hi, TC. Moist Tree Rat, a.k.a. Moist Tree Rat. Maddie's in the house. Nice to have you here. Let's see who else is here as I scroll down. Louie is here. What up, Louie? Louie. Also, Midnight, our young friend. Good morning. Green Badger Outdoors. And Looney Lenny. Hi, Looney Lenny. Wait a minute. Were you here? Is this the same? Are you the Looney Lenny that was here Friday? Anyway, I'm glad you're here. What's up? If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you're just lurking, let yourself be known, and I will say hi. And other than that, let's get this thing started because there's a lot to do today. There's a lot to talk about. So, first, and also if you haven't shared the show, I'd appreciate if you did that too. As you can see at the top there, it says, "Have you shared the stream today? If not, click this link and reply, 'Let's go,' which many of you have already done, or many have already shared the stream. And in fact, let's take a little perusing through the world of who's shared the stream so far. Of course, there's TC, Moist Tree Rat right there. We're reposting that bad boy. And also, Miss Lincoln, link in description, aka Somnambul Nation. Somnambul Nation, I haven't seen you here, but you must be here somewhere. Sharing the show, as always. And then someone, the first Let's Go, all gas, no brakes, Ms. Wild Wolf, doing that. Thank you very much. And we're reposting that. And there's Somnambul Nation with the air traffic controller dude. That's pretty cool. Or not, what do they call those guys? They're not air traffic controllers. They're the signaler guys, right? What up? Tyler F's in the house, a.k.a. Hurricane Franzi. What's up? And Simon Wilkins showing us a little snowfall where he lives. And this is just some snow out there. Looking in the backyards. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Thank you for that. And what else we got here? Wait, liar? Who's calling me a liar? Oh my gosh! Someone says liar. I might have to. We'll find out in a second here. Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. Thank you. Green Badger Outdoors. There you go. With the daily military hardware. Someone flying off an aircraft carrier. And people who shared the stream or reposted my share, Soundable Nation and Green Badger Outdoors. Now let's find out who's calling me a liar. That's a good one. Just liar! Liar! What am I lying about? Let's see. Farmers. Oh, have you seen this one yet? This is funny. So this dude posted this, and well, I'm not even gonna tell you what's in it. I'm just gonna play it, and you can tell me what you think is wrong with this in the chat. You may have already seen this, by the way. Hello, Desert Tramp. What's up? So you might tell me if you know what's wrong with this. It's only about a minute, so we'll play it.
Well, all of us farmers have officially fucked around, and we have officially found the fuck out now, guys. I am on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm on the verge of fucking tears. Overnight, all of my fucking help fled. My help, out of fear for their safety, their lives, they fucking fled. And now I am left out here standing in my unharvested carrot field. It is January, and I'm in Kansas, and this is when carrot harvest goes in fucking Kansas. This field should be full of workers, but all my fucking workers left. And who the fuck do you think is to blame for that? Every single one of them left. Now I have to by myself try to fill that truck with a load of fucking carrots in one day, and I can't do that, guys. I have to get these fucking carrots to market by next week or my contract is fucking terminated. This is $936,000 worth of carrots right here, and I can't fucking pick them by myself. If they're unharvested, I would get kicked out of that contract.
Let's just stop right there. Okay. Now, the person who posted this said, farmers are feeling the effects of ice. Now, if you notice a couple things about that video there, and I pointed out afterward. First of all, those aren't carrots. That's not a carrot field. Also, he said it's January. January's carrot. It is a skit. Thank you, Looney Lenny. It is a skit. The dude's just trolling. Hello, Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian too. Carrots are not harvested in January in Kansas, because in Kansas, it's cold. In fact, I looked up the temperature when I saw this video. It was 6 degrees in Topeka the day I looked at this. And the ground's frozen. Also, carrot farmers, people who actually farm carrots are harvested by machinery, not by human hands. So this guy's I went and checked him out, and he's doing kind of a parody of the people who are complaining that they don't have any help. And too many people, though, lots of people have been posting this video saying, see, Donald Trump's tariffs caused the carrot farmers to go broke. Or then it's ice and all that stuff, and they can't get people to work, blah, 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 right? All these people post about it. So I, adeptly, as I often do, reply to this saying, well, first of all, that's not a carrot field. Also, carrots are not harvested in January in Kansas. Farm carrots are harvested using machines, not human labor. I didn't know any of these things, and I didn't know any of these things before I saw the video. I'm like, wait a minute. The first thing that popped out was he said it was in January. Who's harvesting carrots in January? I didn't know if they harvested carrot in January. I didn't think they did, because I don't know that they, So I looked it up, and I found out all those things about carrot farming. And I said, I didn't know these things before I saw this video the first time, although I figured the January thing seemed a little odd because it's 6 degrees in Topeka, Kansas, and the ground is surely frozen solid. Plus, that dude certainly is not dressed for winter in this video. So he was doing a parody, video, whatever. To which this person calls me a liar. I'm not sure if that's a parody of calling me a liar either. So anyway, that's what that's all about. If you even care. I mean, you may not even care that someone called me a liar. I don't care if he called me a liar. I don't care if he called me a knickknack. I don't care if he called me a pumpkin or a banana. It's not true. No carrots are being harvested in Kansas in January. So there we go. Yes.
Upside down. That means nighttime.
Okay. Just a second, please. All right, I'm back. Little mishap there. Okay, so. Oh, bananas and rice. Don't be talking about no bananas and rice there, Avocados Diablo. Also, good morning, Renee Mayette. How you doing? Okay, thanks for your patience there. All right, let's get into some newsy stuff. I forgot it again. Hang on. Let's see what. Is there anything we should be celebrating today? I know what we're going to be celebrating in a week or so. Is it 2 weeks or 1 week? Anyway, let's talk about the holiday calendar here. What holiday should we be celebrating today? Today's National Spouses Day, which I will be celebrating my spouse sometime today and saying, hey, happy Spouses Day. I've never heard of that one. Show your spouse some extra love this National Spouses Day. Surprise them with a romantic dinner, thoughtful gift, or just a heartfelt hug. Also, it's National Green Juice Day. Green juice? I don't know if I want no green juice. Green juice. Ew, sounds gross. National Peanut Brittle Day. Everybody loves peanut brittle. Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day. Let's get it popping. All right. National Diane Day. If you know a Diane. Hi, Diane. Happy Diane Day. Indian Republic Day. Australia Day. Australia Day. Where's my Aussie friends? Any of my Aussie friends here? Peanut brittle is not nasty. What are you talking about? There's some good peanut brittle. Sometimes there's bad peanut brittle, but it's not nasty. Australia Day. Get ready to embrace the Aussie spirit and celebrate Australia Day with a barbecue. Put some shrimp on the Barbie. Don't be saying a barbecue. International Environmental Education Day. Birth anniversary of national artist Napoleon Abueva. That's interesting. Community Manager Appreciation Day. Let's get the community manager. Better Business Communication Day and Duarte Day. I don't care about any of those. All right, news now. Let's get into news. We have a Super Bowl, and it's funny. I didn't watch any football yesterday. We have a Super Bowl, and that's who is it? Is it Denver and New England? I think something like that. By the way, so remember there's a little controversy about the Super Bowl halftime this year. Some dude named Bad Bunny was going to do the halftime show, and everyone's like, who the fuck is that? Who the hell's Bad Bunny? But I guess young people know who Bad Bunny is. Well, apparently he's decided that he's going to do the Super Bowl halftime wearing a dress in honor of all queer folks. That'll get the Super Bowl audience fired up. I'm just telling you. So anyway, people are mad about it. Wait, last time the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl. Oh, wait, wait, who's in the Super Bowl? Did I get that wrong? Who won yesterday? I don't know. Oh, is it Seahawks? No, wait. Oh, maybe we don't have a Super Bowl yet. Is there another week before we have a Super Bowl? Second graders in New England who have never seen their team play in the Super Bowl will finally have the opportunity. Their agonizing stretch is finally over. All the second graders. Is it okay? The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. Okay, it's New England. Okay, I have no idea. See, that I wasn't paying attention. Couldn't be Denver and New England because New England and Denver are in the same conference. So, yeah, on the 8th of February, we'll be seeing a Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Now, that's significant to me only because the quarterback for the Seahawks is Sam Darnold, and the Vikings traded him away just 2 years ago. So, way to go, Vikes. Enough about football. Let's move on. What else here? All right, here's the main articles that X thinks, or well, the featured stories on X today. First of all, Donald Trump has accused Minnesota of massive welfare fraud and a cover-up, which I think we've kind of figured that out. On January 25th, Trump highlighted citizen research showing 184 medical provider IDs and child care entities registered to 2614 Nicollet Avenue, Minneapolis. Now, that's right outside where this guy got shooed, the guy. And someone was looking in the background and saw what the address was. And there's a building there, an 11,000 square foot building that had 184 medical provider IDs located in that building. And it's amazing. Let's see, 27 amid federal freezes and hundreds of millions in aid over fraud suspicions, the uproar ties to scandals like the $250 million Feeding Our Futures case, and recent ICE raids at the site, with Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding Minnesota repeal sanctuary policies and share data. State Democrats, including Governor Tim Walz, rejected the pressure as overreach. Well, we could just stop. They could just stop funding the whole state of federal money if it's overreach. While Trump suggested decades of fraud could exceed $100 billion. So, President Trump has confirmed the Minnesota fraud could be over $100 million. Now, and how could that possibly be when the budget of the whole state is roughly $35 billion annually? Now, that's a good question. So anyway, here's what Trump had written. It is actually possible that the total amount of money stolen over the years by corrupt politicians and fraudsters from Minnesota could exceed $100 billion. In any event, whether it is or isn't, the theft, incompetence, and fraud is massive. Sadly, whatever numbers we find, California and other Democratic-run states will be worse. Stay tuned. Then he cited President Donald Trump. So there you go. Now, here is the person who found that out. Someone named Data Republican. She is she's kind of a savant when it comes to this kind of stuff. And she said, take a look. And oh my God, 184 NPIs at 2614 Nicollet Avenue. And that's just healthcare providers, not including childcare, and none of them are on an exclusion list. Someone said, want to hear something funny? Today's ICE shooting took place at 2614 Nicollet in Minneapolis. Ironically, here's a list of the businesses listed at that address. So there's 2 daycares and 184 medical, either medical, what do they call them? Anyway, I can't remember what MPI stands for, but 184 of them. The building's 11,000 square feet, 184. And again, these are the companies that are, oh, wait a minute. So that here, it's not just state money. It's also federal money. Yes, absolutely. It's more across the country. Those effing thieves are all over. We've got them here too. Oh, up in Canada? Absolutely. So, this is wild. This is wild. So it'll be interesting to see how much, and she started going through them. Where's the thread? Oh, she didn't, this is not the thread apparently, but, she started going through them and looking up, data on each one, and, between $1 and $2 million each are being taken, have federal funds going to them. It's crazy. It's just crazy stuff. So that's trending. Also, investigators tour Clarkston Refugee Center amid funding concerns. This is in Atlanta. In Atlanta's diverse Clarkston neighborhood, known for resettling tens of thousands of refugees since the 1980s, investigators claim that the Somali American Community Center, receiving $50,000 in 2023 from the International Rescue Committee, sits in a neglected building focused on enrolling newcomers in government benefits. Public records show the center's last full tax filing was for 2017, with revenue of around $160,000, mostly from contributors, while IRC has aided over 30,000 refugees in Georgia since 1979 through federal funds. The video draws attention to high welfare use among Somali immigrants, at like over 80% of households in Minnesota, as GOP lawmakers push to cut $5.7 billion in refugee spending. So here it is. The largest refugee center settlement NGO in the country is a taxpayer funded and is giving money to the Somali American community. The Somali American Community Center building is filled with businesses that sign up refugees for government benefits. Here's just a short video on what they found. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean this is fraud. It just could be helping people to sign up for welfare benefits. But we do know that a large percentage of said community is on welfare. So let's see what this little ditty says.
Congress is trying to give $5 billion of your money for refugee resettlement programs, and then it ends up in places like
this. This is the International Rescue Committee, the largest refugee NGO in the country.
$1.53 billion.
Government funds
moly.
And subcontract the work out to places like
this. This is the Somali American Community Center. It receives grants from the IRC in order to help refugees resettle in America.
But when we went in, we found this.
An almost completely abandoned retail space which hasn't filed taxes in almost 10 years.
Where almost every business is focused on getting refugees on taxpayer-funded welfare programs.
And that is how the largest refugee city in the country is funded.
And how over 87% of Somali immigrants end up on taxpayer-funded public assistance. We spent 3 days in Little Somalia in Atlanta, Georgia.
The largest refugee center in the entire country. And this is what we found.
Congress is trying to...
Okay, so there you go. They have a longer video, but I'm not going to get into it. They have, well, people keep reposting it too. So there you go. It's wild. I don't even know what to say about that. Don't blame you. Oh, don't blame you what? So, and then another story here. Tim Walz has finally called out the Minnesota National Guard to, well, I'm not sure what he called him out for, but he called him out, and it's a big story now. Minnesota National Guard deploys amid deadly immigration protests in Minneapolis. Dead. Well, okay, I guess, yes, one person is dead. Hello, Tyre Alexander. Good morning. The Pope is here. Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, with his daily message of hope, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost, saying, woo, there's nothing like fresh, untouched snow. The way it glistened in the light, there is divine beauty in it. Well, yes, there is, Pope Tyrannus. Thank you. That's definitely a message of hope. All right, Minnesota National Guard is finally deployed in Minnesota. Thank you, Tim Walz. Well, I'm not so sure. Protests against federal immigration raids in Minneapolis turned deadly for a second time after 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Preddy was shot Saturday near 25th Street West in Nicollet Avenue. Video shows agents wrestling him down before a gunfire, with the Trump administration calling him a threat, and a court affidavit alleging shots in the back. Governor Tim Walz deployed the National Guard Sunday at the county sheriff's request, where troops offered refreshments to calm demonstrators and distinguish themselves from federal agents. So he deployed the National Guard, and they decided that they were going to hand out coffee, donuts, and hot chocolate. So here they are, and a lot of people on the left are saying, this is great. They're de-escalating things. Well, they're out there in broad daylight during the least stressful time of the protest, and look, they don't even look like they're in a big protest area. Look at this.
They're
handing out.
Guys giving out?
Hot chocolate.
Is that
Minnesota National Guard?
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are.
Why was this important for you guys to do today?
It's a demonstration of safety and security. We're here to help.
They're not doing anything. Safety and security? What safety and security? What is he? What? Oh my gosh. So, and Tim Walz, damn proud of Minnesota. Really? And then the next, it's funny because first you got the National Guard handing out donuts and coffee in broad daylight. They're not out. You'd think they'd be out there when the freaks come out at night, when they're breaking shit. And, you know, like, and then he says, damn proud of Minnesota. And then here's the next one. Well, rioters breaking into hotels, breaking windows, because they think there's ICE agents there. Yeah, Tim, damn proud of Minnesota. So a lot of people are posting this. Minnesota National Guard members have arrived at the site of the federal building. Oh, this is near the federal building. So where they're not really protesting during the day so much, but they've been ordered to distribute donuts, coffee, and hot chocolate to anti-ICE protesters. They were given reflective vests so protesters don't confuse them with federal agents. I'm not sure why that makes sense. Thank you, Avocado Stalby, for Stoner of the Day. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. AD says, you know who's to blame for all this fraudulent government spending? Matthew Lesko, the guy who did the infomercials with the question mark suits. Was it question mark suits or dollar suits? I can't remember. And told you how to get free money from the government. Oh, yes, Lesko. Everyone remember Lesko? Let me see if I can find a picture of Andrew Lesko. Is he still alive? Andrew Lesko. Andrew Lesko, the dollar sign guy. Oh, no, they don't have a picture of him. Isn't his name? Matthew Lesko. I'm not Andrew. Matthew Lesko. If I can spell Matthew right. Matthew. What the hell? Here, let's see if I can just do Matt Lesko. Free money. Here he is. Lesko. Here's Lesko. Here's good old Lesko. Remember this guy, Andrew, the free money guy? Free money from government from everybody. There you go. Matthew Lesko. Avocado Stalby, another small bullet in the tip jar saying, did the National Guard at least slip some tranquilizers into the food they were handing out? God, I hope so. No, because they were just out there during the day. They're just out there during the day. That's the crazy thing about that. So what's the point of having them going out in the day outside the Whittle building, Whittle building, which is the federal building over by Fort Snelling, if they're just going to hand out coffee and donuts? Let's see here. Oh, someone else is lying about rioters now attacking ICE agents in Minneapolis. Oh yeah. Here's something to be proud of, Tim Walls. Here's something to be proud of. Now they're attacking. Get back! What the fuck is wrong with your asshole? You motherfuckers! So yeah, get back! Is that what you're proud of, Tim? The crab mob left is trying to break in and are clashing with security at hotel they claim ICE is staying at in St. Paul. Where are the police? Where's the National Guard? Yeah, where's the National Guard during this nonsense? Where's the National Guard during this part? Where's the National Guard? Oh, there is one police officer, though. How about you? So, all right, so enough of that. Turn it off. It won't stop. All right, let's see this. There we go. Good morning, Alan Thyler. How you doing? Also, wow, another $17 tip. Wow.
You are the new
You're the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today with a simple message. Morning, dog. Morning, Alan. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you, brother. All right, cool. All right, so that's so the National Guard's finally out. Thanks, Governor Walz. So Minnesota, obviously, very prominent in the news because of another death took place. The man who was shot by Border Patrol agents on this one, who were working in Minneapolis. They were in a targeted raid. They were trying to arrest a specific person who they had a a deportation order for, and had several criminal, charges or whatever. Criminal. He was a convicted criminal, and had a deportation order for him. And so people in there are out there trying to stop this from happening. Look, I ask this question: if you can't deport the bad guys, who can you deport? Because they it's not like they just want you to. It's not like they want you to not. They're worried about. Oh, they detained a child. You can't deport a child. Okay, fine. Which they didn't detain a child. They took his dad, but whatever. Or they don't want you to deport someone who's maybe has a hearing up, right? But they have a deportation order. But you can't deport this criminal? And they don't know who they're going after when these, ICE agents or Border Patrol people are doing a raid. They just come out and try to disrupt the raid, right? They don't want to deport any of them. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Blue Eyed Scream. Simon Wilkins, what's up? I see you. And Lord Stanhope, welcome. Nice to have you here. So Minnesota is prominent in the news. Polls show 71% of Americans feel country out of control 1 year into Trump's second term. That's an Economist YouGov survey. Let's see. Alyssa Pollock. I'm just going to scroll down this Minnesota tab here and we'll see some random stuff here. Alyssa Pollock, found in the now infamous Minneapolis Ice Watch Signal chat, is an employee of the Minnesota Department of Education. So Signal is this communication platform. Let's see. I think I have a separate Signal thread here. Oh gosh, I didn't know I was going to have scary things show up on the screen. So Cam Higbee and some other people have figured out that they have this very highly coordinated system that they're using to chase down ICE agents wherever they go in the Twin Cities. They have the whole city sectioned off into different districts. They have people in each district ready to pounce at the moment they find out someone from ICE may be in the neighborhood. They have lists of vehicles. They have lists of license plate numbers. They have coordinated teams who go out and are ready at a moment's notice to be somewhere to obstruct the ICE agents. And so Cam Higbee, where's the main one here? Someone here, ICE is joining a Signal chat group where they're actively tracking ICE agents in Minneapolis. In real time, they're running license plate numbers to follow and disrupt law enforcement operations. This is straight up criminal behavior targeting federal officers, endangering their safety and obstructing justice. It's absolutely insane. I blacked out the plate numbers in the screenshot to protect our officers because these people clearly don't care about law or officer safety. So they have these, they are out here. They've got people coordinating. They have their own dispatch system, and they are out here trying to. So they're out here trying to disrupt the ICE operations. Now, what could go wrong? Well, it went wrong this weekend with the shooting of Alex Preedy. Now, I'm not. My opinion on the Alex Preedy shooting, from just viewing it, and me as a layman, as far as comes to self-defense law, it looks like they shot him erroneously. Okay, one agent pulled the man's weapon and started walking away. My opinion. Well, here, let's see. I don't want to show it. Everyone else is showing it on the. Everyone else is showing it on their YouTube channels. I'm not going to show it. But so this guy gets killed by Border Patrol agents, and they everyone's up in arms about it. What I saw, if you've watched, you may have watched, you can find it. I'm not going to put it on. I have a theory on this. Oh, hi, Kay. What's up, Kay? I see you there. What's up? I have a theory. Oh, Mrs. Hayes is in my brain. What's up? And thank you, Dennis Urban, for subscribing. My opinion is, when that agent took his gun and went to walk away, There is some evidence that Preddy was reaching for it, his gun. It wasn't there. May have grabbed a magazine or may have phone in his hand. I don't know what. But when that agent grabbed that gun and started going away, and someone said "gun," you can hear it in the video. I think I'm pretty sure that the agent that pulled his weapon saw Preddy reach whatever he reached for, had something in his hand, saw an empty holster, and assumed that he had gotten his gun in his hand. And I think that's when the first fire was shot. Now, here's the question, though, and people are arguing back and forth whether it's justified. And by the way, I need the leaders in this, the Kristi Noems, and even Donald Trump, but Kristi Noems, the head of ICE, the head of Border Patrol, all these spokespeople who come out after these incidents. There are times when I think they need just to take the advice of Dave Chappelle and shut the fuck up. The only thing they need to say is the basics. The man assaulted officers. This is under investigation. We're going to not comment until we get the full investigation done. Because they come out and say stupid shit sometimes. Claiming that he brandished a weapon. Well, he didn't. Well, Chris Rock said it too. So did Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle said it on the Dave Chappelle show, not in his comedy routine. But anyway, they need to wait until they have all the details, because some things they say, you know, everyone's taking video of this. We're seeing video of in 8 different angles in slow motion and reverse and backwards and clarified and non-clarified and close up and zoomed out. We see it 50 to 80 to 1,000 times before they even get to a microphone. And so when they say something that's obviously stupid, they lose their own credibility. So they need to stop that. But otherwise, just say, look, we're gonna have a full investigation of this. We're gonna get all the depositions or whatever, the debrief. We're gonna take these agents out of commission until we get a full accounting of what happened, because they don't know what happened. Here's the thing: in self-defense law, you have to prove the person who pulled a trigger or acted in self-defense. Okay, you have to prove that they didn't act on an idea that they may have been in danger. You have to prove they didn't. That's a high bar. And especially when it's federal law enforcement. You have to prove that they didn't see something. So if that, for example, the agent who shot the first shot, and it's, you can see kind of the guy reaching for something, but there was no gun there because he'd been disarmed. And within a fraction of a second, shot, but he also was reaching for it and had something in his hand. We don't know what it was. Could have been a phone, could have been a magazine, could have been whatever. He didn't have his gun because the gun was gone. If that agent believed it was a gun in his hand, you have to prove that he didn't believe that. Now, in that massive chaos, as they're all struggling on the ground, it's harder to prove that he didn't. He couldn't think that. Was it reasonable that he might have thought that in that situation? He saw a gun 1 second, the gun's gone next second, he doesn't know who took it. Okay? I'm not saying that justifies this or not. I'm just telling you the law of self-defense. I learned that from Andrew Branca, whatever his name is. Okay? So, but the one thing that nobody on the left wants to talk about is how did he get into that situation? I personally think it's a bad shoot. I'm telling you right now, I think it's a bad shoot. Okay? But how did he get in that situation? Oh, he assaulted a law enforcement officer in the process of doing his job, whatever. He assaulted the law enforcement officer. That's a felony. Physically, not just physically, not just obstructed. He physically shoved law enforcement. Which had just been that, and they arrested him, he could get 8 years for that in federal prison. Nobody wants to talk about why they were out there in the middle of the street obstructing the officers in the first place. A federal law enforcement action where they're trying to catch this guy, Jose Huerta Chuma from Ecuador. Record domestic assault, intentionally attempts to inflict bodily harm on another, and disorderly conduct. He was due to be deported. Why are you out there trying to protect this guy? Well, because now there's a narrative out there that ICE is just out there deporting people that don't need to be deported. Well, who do you deport? Who can we deport? You're mad because some of the people that are being deported don't have a criminal record. Well, how do you know because they are there, just because they're in your neighborhood, how do you know they're not trying to catch somebody really, really bad, like a real bad guy? How do you know that? You don't know what they're there for, but you're going to come and obstruct anything they do and get into a physical confrontation with a federal law enforcement agent. What were you doing there? What were you thinking? Now, and this is another case where I go, he doesn't deserve to die. He doesn't, I'm not saying he deserved to die, but he certainly contributed to his own demise, just like Renee Good did. Now, Renee Good is, if anyone's, unless you're lying to yourself, it's absolutely reasonable to believe that officer thought she was driving straight at him. Doesn't matter if she turned to the last second. Hello, filio bastardo. There's no shortage of Darwin's Award. Isn't that the truth? There is no shortage of Darwin Awards. Holy shit. Real quick, thank you, Avocado Stably. Another bullet in the tip jar. This says, see, now, if I had infiltrated their signal chat, I would have been putting the license plates of protesters and state officials as potential ICE vehicles just so they were chasing themselves around. Ah, yes. Yes, that'd be... See, I damn right. You know what? I wish Cam Higbee would have never said it, but I guess he's been in the group for a few weeks now. I would have absolutely been doing that. Just like, like Jack and Monkey on Monkey in the Morning when I was on their show the other few days ago. They suggested that I just drive around in my truck with a whistle and just randomly blow my whistle wherever I'm going. Blow the whistle. Just open my window, blow the whistle. And see if anybody runs. By the way, good morning, Filio Bastardo, and Reaction Puerto Rico's here. Welcome. And on my list of favorite Canadians, Special K and Acid. By that logic, so did Ashley Babbitt. I know my unpopular opinion around here. Ashley Babbitt's death was also reasonable. I mean, think about it. I don't think she deserved to die. But is it reasonable to think that an officer who sees a mob breaking through a window, it wasn't just her, she wasn't by herself, and I don't know, probably couldn't see the cops behind her when he was there, but a mob breaking through a window, and there's like two of you and a giant mob behind that window. I don't know that I think you could reasonably, if you're in his shoes, reasonably have fear for your life if that mob gets through that window, gets through that door. And also in the fact that he's in a restricted area that he's supposed to protect. It sucks that she got shot, but it's not unreasonable for him to shoot somebody in that situation. So that's my opinion on that. Actually, Puerto Rico, what's the lowest temperature you have experienced in Minnesota that still felt, it's not that bad to you? Well, it was yesterday when it was, look, I left for work the other few days ago and it was 22 below zero, right? And I was like, fuck, it's cold. And then like 5 hours later, I was leaving a building and it was 15 below. I was like, oh, it's not so bad out here. It was so much colder earlier today. It's amazing how how when the coldest it gets, just maybe 10 degrees more feels not so bad anymore. So that's what it was. All right. Yeah, that's a good point too. I've met so many dumb cops not to trust random ones with my life. Yeah, that's the other thing. Why? You know what? I'm not saying you should be, you know, you shouldn't be, what's the word I was going to say? Because lots of people say, oh, you're being a bootlicker. Oh, you're saying tread on me. No, I'm not saying tread on me. I'm just not going to do shit that's going to get me killed. You know? So anyway, let me just go through some of the headlines that are related to Minnesota, though, because there's a bunch of them, and these are mostly right of center sources. The National Guard handout coffee is just a joke. Let's start with the New York Post. Violent anti-ICE protesters swarm Minnesota hotel they believe is housing federal agents. One officer left bloodied. Yes, they attacked officers. And I don't know why the National Guard isn't there, but I do. At least there's one police officer there. That's a Minneapolis police officer protecting a hotel in. But now I'm trying to figure out why they said it was a hotel in St. Paul, but it's actually in Minneapolis. Anti-ICE protesters violently swarmed a Minneapolis hotel where they believe federal officers were staying, hurling items at people inside, smashing its windows, and graffitiing "fuck ICE" across the building facade. Sunday, a large mob descended onto the Home 2 Suites by Hilton late Sunday as tensions gripped the Twin Cities, just one day after Border Patrol agents shot and killed protester Alex Preddy. Now, what's funny though, you know, there's video of all these people attacking the hotel, and there was one point where it panned up to an upper floor, and there's a guy on a treadmill just running, working out, kind of just looking at him, kind of, I don't know if he's chuckling at him. So anyway, that's in the New York Post. National Pulse, man charged over threats to kill ICE agents and maggots. And he happened to have a weapons cache and a Palestinian flag. Federal authorities arrested Justin Maisel Navoa, 21, of Ohio, on charges of threatening assault or murder of federal law enforcement officer and for threatening interstate communications. The U.S. Department of Justice announced his arrest on Thursday following an investigation into social media posts where Novoa allegedly threatened to shoot U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and people he referred to as retarded MAGA maggots. Well, that's pretty stupid. You know, these people who post their threats over the internet, they're pretty kind of dumb. It's pretty fucking dumb, I gotta tell you. Fuck ICE is pronounced fuck us, just like justice is pronounced just us. Oh, gotcha. So anyway, there's that article. Front Page Magazine. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Now I'm not sure if I'm reading this headline. I want to read what Obama said. So Obama urges Americans to join anti-ICE riots, and they quote, "Every American should support and draw inspiration from the wave of peaceful protests." Which part? Does he mean just the peaceful part? I mean, because look, January 6th was just as peaceful as these peaceful protests. Parts of it were, and parts of this protest are peaceful, but when, like I said, I always use the same joke. If you get it, you can put a clap in the chat. In the immortal words of Houdini, the freaks come out at night. Some of you might have caught that. Anti-ICE riots aren't grassroots. They're grassroots as BLM riots, as the BLM riots that the Obama administration not so secretly nurtured. And by no coincidence at all, Barack Obama popped up to endorse the latest incarnation of his war on America. Obama popped up to the issue in a press release attacking federal immigration law enforcement, which is crazy because he was totally enforcing immigration law when he had ICE out there sending people home by the millions. Anyway, and falsely claiming that people across the country have been rightly outraged by the spectacle of mass ICE recruits and other federal agents acting with impunity and engaging in tactics that seem to designed to intimidate, harass, provoke, and endanger the residents of a major American city. Yeah, not really. It's like, look, if there were no people following around the ICE agents, would they be, oh, hang on, guys. You know what? Unfortunately, Laura, well, I'm going to have to cut this short. We may have to finish this tomorrow because guys are here to do my water heater and I have to end the show. So I apologize. I said this I might have to cut the show off. And so there you go. So here we go. So anyway, I will put the links in the description here. There's a lot of articles about this. It's all about Minneapolis today. And you're probably sick of hearing about it anyway. So that's it for today, guys. I got to go. Thank you for being here. My name is Dawg Knight. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.